What's going on, guys? So today on this SHOKY Quickie, we're going to be taking a look at something new from the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. And it is the Lord Drakkon Evo 3, even though I still consider it to be Evo 4. But they kind of forget the first step. So either way, this was a PulseCon, HasCon exclusive initially, and then now it's just a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. And if you did miss it the first go around, you can pre-order it right now for $50 on the Hasbro Pulse. Now, I did not get this one from Pulse, as Pulse decided that my order was not important enough to fill, and they canceled it. So I got it from Nate Simmons instead. And I did pick it up a little while ago, if you saw it in the kitchen video. And of course, if you don't know where this even comes from in the first place, you need to read the Boom comics, especially the Shattered Grid section, where Lord Drakkon came in the first place. So go do that and then come back, or else you'll have very little context for what's happening. So actually, speaking of Shattered Grid, that's basically what's going on over here. You got all the shadowed stuff happening. Come around the side, you can see right through there. Come around here, you can see it's through the thing. By the way, this is just a slip cover. I'll be taking off here in a second. I just wanted to show all that. And if you do that number, you get the box open, and then you knock the light away by accident. I only have one light. It looks like I knocked two. So there is... Fuck nuggets. God damn. Seriously. Okay, so now that that all happened, I had some catastrophic failures. Here's the packaging, and like I said, you can get it out of there. It does have all this nice background images and such. You can see the retaining clips and all that, and then of course all the things here. Come around the side. You get Drakkon in his Evo 3 form, which is his like final form, no pun intended. After he's absorbed a bunch of different Ranger powers, he started becoming unstable, then he finally broke into the grid, and then he managed to absorb the powers of like one of the elemental forces of whatever, and started to bend reality to however he wanted. So, Evil Lord Drakkon keeps the helmets of defeated Power Rangers as his trophies, displaying them by his throne to strike fear into the hearts of those who would oppose him. And of course, here's an image here of him with his lightning carpet, as I call it, and then all kinds of stuff. And then you got Ranger heads kind of all over the place. So it is what it is. So yeah, let's just get to it. Okay, so here is our new Lord Drakkon, and this is essentially how he comes out of the box. With the exception of, I believe I switched out one of his hands. So he comes with a left and right holding hand and a left and right kind of scowling evil hand. And yeah, so a lot of what he's got going on is not super different from the previous Lord Drakkon. I mean, his actual shield thingy is fairly similar. He has sprouted a cape, which is definitely a Hasbro cape. The mold looks good, but because it's in a permanent position, you can only do so much, so that kind of sucks. I do appreciate the color scheme with the like black and the gray and the gold. I digs it. And you can see the metallic paint. I don't know. And then some of the cracky mold there, stuff like that. And then if we come in close to the face here, hold on. Gotta do the thing. And this is where I run into issues because my lighting decided to fall over. So you can see there, as time has gone on, he's definitely feeling the effects of too much exposure to the grid. And he's got these blue veins coming up there. His hair has gone gray right through here and then some streaks. But they've done a really good job making it look like the current JDF did. And it's pretty decent. Digital face paint and whatnot. That's the new emblem after he absorbed the like Fire Master kind of. And then basically you got Gold Ranger arms or something very similar. Because he's got the armband here. Thick molded bands there in gold. They got the red pinstripe that runs throughout. So It's not bad. And then you have his kind of black dragon symbol there, but with the red paint's not great. And something else you'll notice, he's a bit bow-legged. I have no idea what happened there, if that's just the mold. Came out of the box this way, especially with this right leg. That is super bow-legged. Like that. And for the life of me, I can't get the cape off. It has a single big peg here, but then whatever's holding it in here, I cannot remove. So, I would like to get the cape off, but I really can't. Articulation does just have ball joint mounted head with a little bit of a neck going on there. Same kind of butterfly as usual. The body seems a little bit thicker than standard. Maybe that's something there. And then you can see that's a little bit loose. Bicep rotation, double jointed elbows for some good menacingness. And then his ab crunch plus waist swivel that's up there in the rib cage. And the legs can do the thing however you want. You can rotate at the hip, you can rotate at the thigh if you break the sculpt, and the paint rather. Double jointed knee for all the good it does you, because there's a cape. And then the somewhat pointless ankles, especially considering how tight they are. Nicely molded shoes. And the very confusing thing about this figure is that he doesn't come with the main accessory they mentioned, and that would be his throne. The only time they ever gave us one was a very limited edition version of his throne. And good luck getting one outside of Etsy for like less than $100, unless you want to 3D print your own. But what they're trying to replicate with whatever they give you is this cover from Shattered Grid. And mind you, I thought this was actually a copy of the actual copy of the thing. It's not. It's literally just a poster that comes in a slipcover, like a comic book. And also, this isn't even the best version of this. This makes him look green when in fact he's gray, and then he's just, you know, spewing chaos energy out of him, which is what the Green Ranger powers. You really need to read the comics. So, if we come down here, we might as well go ahead and take a look at his accessories. We'll start out with the main one, and we have a Saba. So, in this timeline, he actually managed to steal Saba and use him for magical powers, though he did come in later and steal Saba. So, there's that. And yeah, we looked at the White Ranger not long ago. You know, this one. So let's compare and see what they changed from the first Saba to the current Saba. And as you can see, there's really not a lot. The gold is ever so slightly different, which is something we've seen as of late. But they painted the head the right colors. They included all the extra paint that was necessary on the head. The white face paint, the red eyes, the little gold buttons right there. However, there is something different about this Saba. You can pull his head off. And that's only important for spoilery reasons. Except for the fact that now you have this little nub in here, and they don't give you, like, I guess it's, they should give you, like, the wrap or the spike or whatever he ended up putting in place of Saba's head. Because, actually, what's funny is, later in the comics, he has Saba's head as a necklace, and he talks to it. Even though he's not alive anymore, from what I can tell. So there's that. But as it goes, you know, it's the same. I don't think... No, there's no good way to remove this head. No, I think without, you know, cutting it off. So if you want to have one with the head permanently removed, I would suggest doing it from the White Ranger one. And then you can add whatever he did to the base of it, whether it was a new spike or it was a wrap. I honestly don't remember. And you can put it in a holster, even though it's incredibly difficult. Like, you have to get the body out of the way to put it in the holster. Now, the funny thing is, the images on the packaging showed it facing the other way, which seems rude that you would have Saba facing backwards away from the battle. I mean, maybe it's accurate. I could be wrong. Maybe it is meant to go that way. It's kind of hard to tell. I just, like I said, it seems rude to stick them in there. Actually, it didn't want to go. So, I mean, there's that. However you want to do it. It's your toy. Do what you want. And I had him with him in his right hand, because I wanted the left hand for more menacing purposes. But as you can see, it's kind of a loose fit. Like, it's not really holding. Plus, once again, Saba was definitely not alive at this point. He was more or less a conduit for the spells that he needed to cast after he had lost his Black Dragon powers. I want to say Green Ranger powers. Technically, he lost his Black Dragon powers. And we already discussed the hands, so that's not a thing. So let's look at his next accessories. And they would be Ranger helmets. This is the strangest part about this. So you get this little cluster of rocks and some battle-damaged Ranger helmets, except that's just some really crappy paint applied. Now, each one of these are like real helmets, pull them off. So you could put these on your Rangers if you wanted to have them damaged. Even a good Green Ranger, which at this point, I don't have the new one. I have it on order, but BBTS saw fit to not send it to me, instead filling out people who ordered 2 of them instead of the people who ordered, you know, any number less than that. But if you notice, there's no Blue Ranger helmet in this pile, and that's because in this universe, Billy's already gone. However, on the actual cover, it does show a Blue Ranger helmet, so it's a little crappy that they left that off. Actually, without even considering it, there's no Black Ranger helmet. Oh, because the Black Ranger powers were already taken. So this is really strange that they would do this. So he already had our Tommy, Jason, Kimberly, and Trini. But then, yeah, that is really strange. I never considered the fact we're missing at least 2 Ranger helmets, and I was only thinking about Billy because Billy's already gone in this timeline. But it's weird to think that that's what they did. Okay, but along with that, you can see we have a big old slot right there. That is, unfortunately, not for Saba, which would have been really cool. It is, in fact, for what I call the lightning carpet, or carpet lightning. And this is by far the dumbest thing they've ever done. You guys know I'm not a fan at all of the effect parts that they give us. And then they give us this. This is, for lack of a better term, a lightning carpet. You have a big tab right here and a couple small tabs there, but I don't know what those are for. Oh, okay, so those go there. I just realized that. Okay, so this goes into here. I never even realized that these tabs went in here. I just had it kind of loosely attached like that. And then that one just went in. Okay, so that's good. And then that's it. There's your lightning carpet. What even is this? So they actually show on the packaging where this is like coming up and you've got a Ranger helmet like propped up on it, but this is not a very vertical piece. There's no verticality to this, at least not this part. So if you want, you can get him in kind of a threatening pose that I had him in for a minute. So if you want to, you can. You want this bit of lightning to kind of go up behind his cape, and you want his foot to be down round about here. And you can just get his foot on there, and then it's a little bit of a balancing act to get him to stand on that proper. You see, it's just not quite doing it. If you move the cape around, you can get it. So you can actually get your Drakkon standing like that, or at least I can get my Drakkon standing like that. And then the other thing is you get this big old thing. This is meant for vertical purposes, from the best I can tell. No kind of tabs or anything. So the best that I could tell is that this sort of goes like around his feet, for lack of a better term, I think. I had it in a couple different ways. So let's say we do this. And then we do this number, where it goes up and behind his cape. Like, this was basically how I had him. So that this lightning is also sort of holding him up. Now, if you want to place a Ranger helmet up on here, you could probably manage it. Like that. Pull that out. Hang that there. Let's see if it has enough. See if it has enough body to actually hold that. I don't think so. Nope. That's quite a bit limp. Okay, so you can't really do that. But if you put Saba in that hand, there's the gaps in there to have Saba run up and through that, so he can be conducting electricity in that manner. So you could do that if you want to, if you're so inclined. Now, one thing some of you eagle-eyed viewers will be saying is, wait, isn't he missing something? And yes, he is. Because, of course, he should have his helmet, just like he did on the cover. And so here it is. Here's his, Evo 3 helmet, black and gold, with the red paint on the visor. Really not applied that great, but it's on there. It's a very similar helmet to his standard Black Dragon version, but with a few added details as it goes. And of course, this is just how it ends up after absorbing different powers and stuff like that. Now, you would say, hey, Shoky, why don't you have it on his body? That's another good question, my friend. And that is, he doesn't actually have, at least my version, did not have the socket in which the head would plug into. It was just a big empty hole. As you can see there, I just have some putty in there. And I will be using that to put his head on. But if you notice here, say on a normal head, you have the socket. This is completely lacking that socket. And it is a thing that is inserted to the helmet in the process of putting it together. If you have one and it doesn't have that, please let me know in the comments down below. So what you want to do is just yoink his head off like you would do. You can actually potentially just move him out of the way first, make life easy. And before it was just resting on the ball peg, now I can actually plug it up in there. And I can have him, well, with a very, very raised helmet. That's not. Let's get a little more depth in there. So now I've got a Lord Drakkon with his crazy helmet. Oh, look at this. He'll almost... There we go. He's literally doing a Captain Morgan. Cool. I need a barrel. Alright, so let's move the lightning out of the way for the time being. So you got Captain Morgan Drakkon here. Now, something I want to do for comparison purposes is bring in a standard Drakkon. One you can just get. And we'll do a face comparison. And for my money, he's exactly the same, just with the new paint applied to the hair and everything like that. And then you can see how his design is similar, obviously new, with the new merger of powers. And, the forearm design is still the same, but without the holes, because they changed where it is. You can see here, well, it's not exactly the same, but it's really close. He's also lacking the dragon dagger at this point, because he didn't have it. Yeah, he didn't. I just realized that. He didn't have the dragon dagger at this point, which is strange. Also seems to be shorter. Let me look. Hold on. I'll get him to stand proper. Because I think this might be a new body. I could be wrong. The legs are similar but different. And look, you see here how straight these legs are. These are super bowed out. But yes, you can see there's a little bit of a height difference. And if you want to look at the helmet difference, you can tell here. Oh, come back here. You can see the similarities and then the differences, and ignore the putty there. That's just to hold it in place. Basically, it's a couple extra spikes, and the center spike gets a little bit longer. Things like that. Loses some of the gold outline, and the secondary eyes sort of stay the same. So that's that weird combination of Dragon Zord and Tiger Zord powers that he has at that point when he develops this getup, the white and green. It's always called the Black Dragon powers, but technically he's a white and green guy. Seriously, Drakkon is an interesting character, and they brought him back for the new series, and he's going to have a very interesting role with the Omega Rangers, which hopefully we'll be getting those as well, because he's a comics only character along with Ranger Slayer. So it would stand to reason that we may get one of those down the line. So there's our 2 Drakkons, and I will definitely say something stubby about these legs. You can really tell. I don't think it's just the fact that it's bowed. I think it is a stubbier leg for some strange reason. And then, just because we should, I'll bring in White Ranger. So you can see where, you know, a lot of those aspects come from. If you've never figured that part out, that's where a lot of those details come from. Now I'm really hoping they give us the other 2 definite Evo versions of Drakkon. You know, after he went from this, and then he absorbed the Samurai, Gold Ranger, and then I think another one. The other one is kind of like a maybe, if he really did or didn't. And then we have White Ranger head versus Drakkon head. Obviously this White Ranger head does not have the best paint job. And then I don't have my Zeo Ranger 5 handy, unfortunately, so that's about it on that. And then, just for comparison to one of the monsters that we looked at previously, he is a bit ridiculous, is he not? I mean the pumpkin guy. He's definitely taller than the, you know, conqueror of our galaxy and destroyer of universes. Just really what he did. Shattered Grid is interesting. Now, once again, I'm sort of making this up as I go, because I don't know that was the exact method for applying that, but it's the only thing I could figure out that made sense to do. Because, really, they didn't give you any instructions, they didn't give you any provisions to know what to do with this stuff. It's just sort of here. And I'll reiterate, I think that this lightning carpet is one of the dumbest things they've ever given us. I would have paid $10 more just to have the throne. And maybe not the cape, because you can't sit on the throne with the cape. And the fact that the head didn't come with the recess to actually plug it on, and this is not anything crazy. And instead of just giving me a Saba that the head can come off, why not just give me a headless Saba? You're already there. You've already made the mold without the head, so just finish it. So, I mean, he's cool. Don't overpay for him, and if you still want to get it, go ahead and do so off of Pulse. By all means, they said it's going to be re-releasing in March, so by all means, go get that. If you're that interested, and you got to have this version of Drakkon. I think it's funny they released his final version before they released the other ones, but that's just me, maybe. I don't know. But guys, let me know what you think down below. Do you think this is awesome? Do you think it's stupid? And do you think they could have done something else? But I will see you guys next time. Go watch the rest of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection videos if you're down for that. I'll see you next time. Remember, as always, to keep on nerding.